Hey everybody, it's Crystals here, and today we're bringing you a new deck. It's something I've been kind of playing with in like Plat 3, so still not Platinum 1, but I'm facing a lot of Drytron in meta decks, so I think it holds up pretty well. Yeah, so today the deck we're bringing is WindWitch. WindWitches are a really cool archetype. They're a really good rogue deck for in particular because they can actually spam out the field. They don't rely on normal summons; they special summon themselves really easily. And there's a lot of extenders, and the basic combo for this deck can bring out, Crystal Wing Circle Dragon very easily, and that's just a monster negate, really easily. And then on top of that, with the WindWitch line, with the basic combo, you could give Crystal Wing even more protection and stuff. So we're playing the non-tramp variant. If you do want to run traps, I would advise like cutting out some of the spells, like the call buys and stuff like that, and run stuff like Solemn maybe. Like some of the Solemn cards, like, Judgment is good, and Warnings, if you, Judgments and Strikes if we have them, But other than that, if you don't have them, no big deal. This lineup is really good, and I've been loving it. So, I hope we all enjoyed today's video, and we'll go to the card by card. So first, we got a lot of hand traps. We'll go over those first. So we're using the Frame Gear Gamma package as always. The frame gear package is 2 gear frames. The frame gears here, we've only allowed to run 2, and 1 frame driver. Simple as that. And anytime the opponent uses a monster effect, if it's on their turn or your turn, if you have no monsters on the field, you could actually reveal this card and special summon it to your field, and it negates that activation and destroys the card. And then on top of that, you can summon a frame driver from your hand and or deck. Really good combo. It goes straight into, Synchro 8s right away if you really wanted to. You could get out Borload, really easily that way, or any of your other cards. So anyway, really good. The only issue is it's not a win card, but yet again, we're only really using it for the simple fact of negating your opponent's effects. Then we got 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Springs. It stops down searching effects. If you want to add cards from the deck to the hand, special summon from the deck, or send a card from the deck to the graveyard. Like I said, this card is just amazing. Definitely run 3 of them. Yeah, I'm bringing a lot of hand traps because I really don't like fucking Drytron anymore. I'm getting sick of it. And we have 1 more hand trap to go with. Well, actually 2, but we'll go over those. The other one is Draw and Lock board. This is a last minute inclusion, and I've actually really enjoyed it. I'm happy I actually crafted this, and I think everybody else should also. It's really good, not good in all matchups, but it is good in 99% of them. And what this card does is if a card is added from your main deck to your opponent's hand, except during draw phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. For the rest of this turn, cards cannot be added from either player's main deck to their hands. Yeah. So this card alone could stop 90% of the decks out there in meta gameplay. A lot of decks can't play around this card. Either you use it and they have to end their turn immediately, or they just scoop and you win the game. There's no real other option. It's a really good card. Definitely must have. Like I said, a lot of decks, in my opinion, should be running this. Yeah. And that's it for the hand traps, other than we have 2 Called by the Graves. This stops your opponent from using like Max C or Ash Blossom. So definitely run 2 of them, because right now Max C is very much alive in the game, and it's all fucking over the place. So this definitely run 2 of them just in case. Now for our mini package, our Nat WindWitches, we are using the Spellbook engine. So we got 1 Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. This is our normal summon of the deck, if we can't special summon for some reason. But this card is pretty cool. This card is normal summoned or flip face up. You can add 1 Spellbook card from your deck to your hands. And our target for that, when we actually summon this, you wanting to be grabbing Spellbook of Knowledge or a Spellbook of Secrets. So we got 3 Spellbook of Secrets here. You can add 1 Spellbook card from your deck to your hand, except Spellbook of Secrets. You can only activate 1 Spellbook of Secrets per turn. So basically, you could summon a Spellbook of Prophecy, get Secrets, use Secrets, and from Secrets you get Spellbook of Knowledge. So you could you could dig to your deck really easily. Then Spellbook of Knowledge is you could send to the graveyard either 1 spellcaster monster you control or 1 other Spellbook card from your hand, except this card. And if you do, draw 2 cards. So the play is you summon Spellbook of Prophecy, you search out Secrets. Secrets in turn searches out Knowledge. Then you use Knowledge to send Prophecy to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. And you really wanting to be drawing your ice spells, like, hopefully, because at that point you should have no cards on the field, and you can special summon this card, and your combo will go on from there. So that's all of the spellbook cards. Now for the main deck itself, our main engine is the actual WindWitches. So first off, we're running 2 Snowbells. WindWitch Snowbell is a pretty cool card. If you control 2 or more wind monsters and no other wind monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. A wind synchro monster that was summoned using this card as synchro material cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. So basically, you could get this card on the field, synchro up to anything, and it gives it instant immunity to card effects. So that means Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon can only be destroyed by battle, not card effects anymore. And getting over 3k that can negate effects is actually pretty difficult at times. And if you actually back this up, if the other cards, it's pretty good. So definitely run 2 of them. I run 2 just in case one of them gets banished, and it's another name for the graveyard for another thing we'll be talking about in a bit. So definitely, like I said, run 2 of them. Then we have 3 WindWitch Ice Spells. This is our main card of the deck. You definitely want to be running 3 of them. There's no ands or buts about it. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can special summon 1 WindWitch monster from your deck, but it can't be tributed. You can't special summon monsters from the extra deck to activate this effect, except level 5 or higher wind monsters. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent. So you could easily special summon this, get another search, and you'll be searching a WindWitch Glass Spell at that point. And Glass Spell states, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can't add 1 WindWitch monster from your deck to your hand except for itself. And you also can't special summon monsters except for wind monsters. So basically the play is you have Ice Spell, summon Ice Spell searches out Glass Spell searches to your deck to your hand, Snowbell. Simple as that. Then you get Snowbell, then you have 2 on the field. Snowbell will special summon itself on the field. At that point, you want to synchro Glass Spell and Ice Spell for a level 7 Winter Bell. Then Winter Bell and Snowbell equals Crystal Wing Dragon. And that's a very easy and simple combo of this deck. So like I said, that's what we're doing. Then we got 3 Freeze Bell. Freeze Bell, just really another name. It does come up often. If all monsters you control are WindWitch monsters, minimum 1 of them, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then once per turn during main phase, you can increase this level by 1. And simple as that. So instead of level 3, you can make it a level 4. So, if you needed to go into more level 8, you can, stuff like that. So it's not bad. It's not the best card, but it's definitely a great extender to continue off your plays. Definitely run 3 of them. And then we already went over Glass Spell. Definitely run 3 Glass Spells also. Then we have 3 Wind, the Wind Channeler. This card's yet again a really great either a extender or a great searcher. It gets us any of our combo pieces that we need to continue our plays. Basically, you could discard this card and 1 other wind monster. Add 1 wind monster with 500, 15,000 or less defense from your deck to your hand. So you could discard this and 1 other card to easily get to Ice Spell, from your hand real quickly. So like I said, it's a way to get to any of your card in your deck that you really need to. So I would advise definitely running 3 no matter what. Then for our last card here, we got 1 Blizzard Bell. Blizzard Bell, you're really only using it for another name for the graveyard. Other than that, you're not really using its effect that often. But if you control no monsters or all monsters you control WindWitch, you can normal summon this card without tributing. During your opponent's main phase, if you control a WindWitch monster other than itself, you can send this card from your hand or field to graveyard to inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Like I said, you're really only using it as a name for the graveyard. That's it. It can come up where you can normal summon it, then like special summon another WindWitch, like Freeze Bell here, and you can easily go into something. So just so you know, it's not the best card, but you definitely want to run at least 1 of them. Then we have a little Speed Void package. We got 2 Speed Void Tech a combo. If you control a wind monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You contribute this card to special summon 1 speed returner from your deck. Also, you can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for wind monsters. It, yet again, is a great extender. That's all it is. If you control wind monsters, you can just special summon this. You can tribute it off to easily get Speed Void Tri-Eye Dice. We're only running one of them. Then yeah, it's just yet another tuner you can get on the field really quickly. So just so you know, yeah, definitely run it. So I like it, and that's the monster lineup. But we'll go to the spells. So we got one Harpy's Feather Duster. Yet again, I fucking hate skill drain, so I'm still gonna run it. Harpy's Feather Duster does come up quite a bit, and it's a really good card. I do advise running them, so can't hurt just to run at least one. So it's a good staple to have. We got 3 Spellbook of Secrets, as we already mentioned. 1 Spellbook of Knowledge. We got 1 Magic something Fusion. Sorry, I'm terrible with words. This card's pretty cool. You can special summon one spellcaster fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion material listed on it from your field or graveyard. And we're only running one of this. We have 2 targets in our extra deck, and we'll go over those in a bit. Then we got the best spell in the deck, 3 WindWitch Chimes. You can target 1 WindWitch monster you control, special summon 1 WindWitch monster from a different name from your deck in defense position. You can only activate 1 of these per turn. You can't special summon monsters the turn you activate this card, except wind monsters. So, yeah, this is the best spell card in our deck. You definitely run 3 of them. Then we got 2 Called by the Graves, as I already mentioned before. Then we got 1 Trap, and this is really, you can cut this if you want to add anything else. But we are running 1 Icy Breeze Reframe. You can activate following. You can activate one of the following effects. You can target 1 WindWitch monster in your graveyard to special summon it, or when your opponent activates a card or effect in response to your WindWitch monster's effect, you can negate that activation. Really good. You could use 81 depending on the situation you're in, and they're really good for that one reason. So I like it. It's not the best card, but it definitely is worth it. So like I advise running at least one of them. And that is it for the deck. I know it's a lot of hand traps, but it's Tritron. What can I say? Tritron and Eldritch. I'm just getting tired of them. Even I just made an Eldritch video. But the point is, it's so frustrating seeing skill drain all the time. Now for the extra deck. So here's the reality of my extra deck. I am missing some cards, and we'll go over what I would cut to add in a bit. So first off, we got 1 WindWitch Crystabell. WindWitch Crystabell is pretty interesting. You could target 1 monster in either player's graveyard until the end phase. That card's this card's name becomes that or target's original name, and replace the effect with that target's original effect. If this card's any progression is destroyed by opponent's card by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 WindWitch Winterbell and 1 level 4 or low WindWitch monster in the graveyard to special summon them. So it's a really cool floating effect. And on top of that, the effect where you can target 1 monster in either player's graveyard and get that effect actually is really, really useful. It does come up, and this is one of the targets for fusion, by the way. Our other target for fusion is Quintet Magician. 5 spellcaster monsters it requires must be fusion summoned. If this card is fusion summoned using 5 spellcaster monsters with different names, which this is really easy to get since these are all spellcasters with, well, not those, but all the WindWitch cards are spellcasters, and they all have different names. So this is really easy to get in the grave, all 5 in the graveyard. You can destroy all cards your opponent controls. This face-up card on the field cannot be tributed nor use a fusion material. Also cannot be destroyed by card effects. So simple fact, it has some of the protection, and it can just pop the opponent's field. It's really good. You don't go into it all the time, but it's definitely worth, having it into your extra deck, just in case you do run it. Just in case this scenario comes up. We got 1 High Speed Void Puzzle. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a special summon monster, you can make this card attack become double the original current attack. Then once per turn, during the end phase of this card's in your graveyard, because this synchro start card was sit there from the field this turn, you could target 1 Speed Void monster in your graveyard, except itself, and add it to your hand. So like I said, you could continue your extended plays. 1 Starter's Charge. If you just synchro it, you could draw a card. That's all this is here for. We got 2 WindWitch Winterbells. You can target 1 WindWitch monster in the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the target's level times 200. During your battle phase, quick effect, you target 1 WindWitch monster you control, special summon 1 monster from your hand with a level less than or equal to that monster, but it can't attack this turn. Really cool effects. They kind of keep forward field presence. It could save your life if your opponent's trying to go for game. So run 2 of those for sure. We got one FA Don Dragster. This card is pretty cool. Gain attack equal to the level times 300. If this card attacks a different special monster, like piercing, each time an FA spell trap increases level by 1. We're using it for this effect right here. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell trap card, quick effect, you can reduce this level by 2, and if you do, negate the activation and destroy that card. It's a really good card to have for certain matchups. You can negate stuff like any Sky Striker cards. For instance, Paleo uses a lot of trap cards and stuff. So it's a really good card to use. I like to run one just in case. Then we got one Wind Pegasus Ignister. During your main phase, you can destroy spell trap cards your opponent controls up to the number of Ignister monsters you control. So already it's just a one off. Like you could just during your main phase you could destroy one because you control one Ignister. If another card you control is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect while this card's on the field or graveyard, you can banish this card, then target one card your opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck. So it's a really cool way to, this is shuffle cards. And it, like I said, it's really easy to summon just based off your regular combo. It's a wind level 7. Like I said, it's not bad at all. Then we got one starter Spark Dragon. Once per turn, you can target one card you control. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. You can also target itself if you really wanted to. Like I said, it's a really good card to go into. It's not bad. Definitely worth running. We got our main boss monster, Crystal Wing Synchron Dragon. Once per turn, when the other monster's effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. And if you do that, this card gains attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack until the end of this card. Then if this card battles an opponent's level 5 or higher monster, during damage calculation, this card attacks attack equal to the current attack of the opponent's monster. So like I said, if your opponent can't read or doesn't read cards, they attack over something level 5, you're going to clear anything. And like I said, this actually does have protection from card effects, so it's really hard to get over. I do advise, if you can get one more, run 2 of these for sure. It's worth it. Then we got one Borload Savage Dragon. If this card's synchro, you can equip one link monster from your graveyard to gain a counter. Then this card it's an Omni Negate if you remove counters from it. We do have some links, so this card is live. So definitely run one of them just in case. Then we got one High Speed Void Kite Drake. This card is synchro summon. You could activate one of these effects, destroy all cards on the field, or negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. It's a really good card. Definitely advise running at least one of them. It does come up every now and then. Then for our links, we got one High Speed Void Rubber Band. Rubber Band Shooter. During your main phase, you can immediately after this card revolves and summon one wind monster. Also, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except synchro monsters. You can banish one wind synchro monster from your extra deck, reveal 2 Speed Void monsters from different names, and then add one of those cards to your hand, and the other one gets sent to the graveyard. Like I said, this is a really good card. I definitely advise running it. It's a good way to continue your plays. So yeah, I like it. Then this deck can get 4 cards on the field really easily without locking yourself out too much. And just Apollosa, really good. Omni Negate. Like I said, you could easily get 4 cards on the field, no problem. So like I said, if you needed to cut something, Borload's a good card to cut to add more Synchro Dragons, stuff like that. But other than that, that's the deck. I hope everybody enjoys. We'll get into the games. We got 3 of them today, or 2 of them, something like that. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy, and we'll get into the games. Alright guys, so our first game here is actually against Outlandish Vampire. I actually really love vampire cards, so I'm actually really excited to see how this goes out. Other than that, I'm looking at this hand, and this is just a great hand to start with, so I'm actually really excited. And we'll show you some cool combo lines. So activate Wind first. I use Wind effects, the Wind Channeler effect, to discard itself, and Speed Void to add Snowbell to my hand. And at this point, I normal summon Glass Bell. Glass Bell brings out Freeze Bell with special summon itself. He max C's. I'm like, okay, that sucks. I call by the grave at that point to get rid of max C. And this is why I've run Call by the Grave. At this point, he doesn't have an Ash or anything to negate. Well, not an Ash, but he has nothing to negate my Call by. So Freeze Bell effect will kick in. Then at this point, I do use Snowbell's effects to special summon itself. WindWitch and Freeze Bell equals Winter Bell. Winter Bell's effect kicks in. I burn for 800. Then I synchro off for synchro wind synchron dragon in my turn. So I have a monster negate and a search negate. I'm feeling pretty good. My opponent activates Lightning Storm. He did not read my card, by the way, because IE can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects. He tried to destroy my... Yeah, anyway. Didn't work out. He sets 2. He activates a Lure of Darkness. I do Ash that. Don't want him to draw 2 cards. So yeah, not going to allow him to do that. Negates that. Then at this point, he ends his turn. I'm assuming that was a spell in his hand. Then I draw a lock board. Not the best card right now, but I'll take it. I do attack for some damage. My opponent activates Vampire Familiar, sends it to the graveyard to get Link Karibo. I'm like, alright, that's annoying, but not the end. I do get Harpy's Feather Duster. I use Harpy's Feather Duster to destroy his back row. I got rid of Vampire Kingdom and Vampire's Domain. At this point, I attack Link Karibo. Link Karibo's effect will activate Tribute. And at this point, I'm just waiting. This is a very boring stall game. There's nothing else I can really do at the moment. My opponent just passed. I attack for another 3k. It's back to my opponent's turn. My opponent activates Vampire Familiar, discarding 1, bringing it back Vampire Familiar. At this point, he activates effect. I do negate this. At this point, he uses Link Karibo. Link Karibo would tribute the card to bring itself back out, buying himself just another turn. This is just getting annoying, but I can't do anything to stop it. Battle phase, he attacks just to kill himself for a game. That's it. Like I said, this is a really good deck, and a lot of decks cannot handle Crystal Wing for some weird reason. Anyway, we'll get to the next game, and I hope everybody enjoys. Alright, so our next game here is against Paleozoic Frogs. Using, I think it's a 6-card deck. They're using Grass Looks Greener and Reasoning and stuff. This is a really cool deck. I actually really like it. So yeah, I go first, and I actually have a full combo here. So I've got Ice Spell, got some pretty cool stuff. He max C's. I'm like, crap, that sucks. I really can't do anything. So I activate that. I activate Ice Spell, get Glass Spell, get Snow Bell. Snow Bell's effect for a special summon, allowing him to get more cards. I draw and lock at this point, so he can't draw anymore. And I get Winter Bell. Winter Bell's effect will go on. I burn him for some damage. At this point, I synchro off again for Crystal Wing. And I set 1. I'm feeling pretty confident, but there's nothing much I could do. So at this point, he activates Swap Frog's effect by discarding Duke Frog. At this point, I do just negate Swap Frog. I don't want him to continue getting cards. So yeah, nothing I can do about that. And he sets 4. At this point, I activate Icy Bell to continue my plays. I activate Glass Bell's effect. Glass Bell will search out Freeze Bell. And at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident. I activate Harpy's Feather Duster in the wrong column. I should have done it behind Crystal Ring. I'm an idiot, I know. At this point, he changes a bunch of the cards. All of a sudden, he activates Paleozoic Diminishist, targeting my Crystal Ring. He activates Canadia, activating my Glass Bell. Trap Tricks to get another card. And then he activates Rise to Full Height. He just activated everything he can. He was just clicking that yes button. At this point, he goes through the chain of motions here, just, getting a bunch of cards on the field. Canadia, flip face down, Dimensus with Banish, and Harpy Feather Duster gets rid of everything. Absolute King Jack will activate. King Blackjack will activate, banishing itself, revealing the top cards. He sends card Demise to the graveyard. I flip face up, and I start going off my plays again. At this point, I synchroed Freeze Bell and Glass Bell to get FA Dawn. I feel pretty confident because I know he's using a spell and trap based deck, so I was like, I feel confident in doing this. So we'll see. Hopefully my play actually works out. He sets 1, activates Call of Demise. I do just straight up negate Call of Demise. I'm not allowing him to get more cards. At that point, he ends his turn. Yet again, I'm feeling pretty confident. During my draw phase, he does activate Paleozoic. What is that? I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. Getting Maria. So Maria's effect will activate by special summoning itself. And then you could banish one card, then he returned it. Then I just go to my battle phase, attack over. He takes some damage because FA does have piercing. It's my opponent's turn. He draws one, and he activates Fury of the Shin. I do negate that. Yet again, I'm not trying to allow him to get more cards advantage. I have control. Might as well just abuse it. I got one more negate left on my FA, and not feeling too good. I do some defense at this point. That was kind of a mistake. I should have just continued attacking. My opponent draws, ends his turn. It's my go. I do draw an Ash. I'm not drawing any of my WindWitch cards this game. Like, this is just pathetic. I do attack for some damage. My opponent draws. He sets one, ends his turn. It's my go again. At this point, I get another Ash, and I attack. He activates Odinoids to get rid of my back row. I do chain that, and I just get rid of a swap frog just because I can. Then it destroys, and I attack for 900 yet again. Then my opponent, at this point, this has gone on way too long. He activates Reasoning. I'm going to Ash that because I'm not allowing that to go through. Yeah. At this point, I basically already won this. It's just it's taking forever to, go through. I get another Called by the Grave. I set that. Attack for 900 yet again. This is just a little bad. My opponent draws another Reasoning and uses it. I Ash yet again. I think my opponent definitely is getting aggravated at this point, by the way. Yeah, Reasoning gets negated. He does set one, and he concedes at the end of the day at that point. This was just a very bad showcasing of what this deck can do, but it was a fun, long, drawn-out game. Interesting enough, I didn't draw any of my WindWitch cards, which was hilarious. Other than that, we'll go into one more game, and I hope everybody's enjoying. Alright, I hope everybody is enjoying this video. I know it's a longer one, but I do apologize about that. I hope you all do enjoy this, though. I misplayed terribly in all this, still learning the combo lines, and you're just going to laugh at it. So I activate Ice Bell. He max C's. At this point, I Gamma. And then my opponent, on top of that, Ashes. Like, what the fuck? So he ashed my Gamma. Gamma's effect won't resolve. Gets negated. But Max C does go off. And at this point, I've lost at this point. There was nothing I could really do. Yeah. Like I said, at this point, I definitely lost. I tried my best to go into some cards, but there was nothing I could fucking do about it. So, like I said, I was trying. But then he activates Pyramid Oracle. I activate Wind to burn. Like I said, at this point, I've done some burn damage. He already has a card on the field. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in that. I allowed him to draw way too much. I really should have just stopped, but what can you do? So he activates Magician's Salvation, setting Eternal Soul. At this point, I definitely lost. He sets 2 Magician's Soul. That sends Dark Magician. At this point, he special summons Dark Magician. Then he activates Magician's Rod to get Dark Magical Soul. He uses Dark Magical Soul. I do Ash that to negate it. So they negates the search effect, but yet again, he still have a normal, he still has a second effect to this. At this point, he is going to link off 3 into Blackluster Soldier. I do activate my BM Speed Void dice at this turn to negate one effect at least. He activates Fusion to get rid of 5 to go into Quintet Magician. Quintet Magician will go off, but my card's unimmune. So I target itself to get a Speed Void just to try to survive some damage at this point. It's not enough. He does crash into Dark Magician in my card. At this point, it's my go. Yet again, Ash Blossom. I'm just screwed. This is definitely game. There's nothing I can do about it. He activates Magician Souls. At this point, he just needs to attack, and he wins. But, of course, he's going to show off for a bit because he can. Kind of stupid. Be honest, he really doesn't need to, but he does. At this point, he attacks with Dark Magician, Blackluster Soldier, and he finishes off with Dark Magician Gore. I hope you guys enjoyed that misplay I did, and yeah, I'll show some losses because I do lose just like everybody else. But other than that, I hope you all enjoy, and I'll catch you next time.